The years 1981 through 1985 were momentous years for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There was increased international visibility and significant organizational changes to meet the Church's great missionary effort and growth. This period brought into focus the Church's threefold mission of proclaiming the gospel to the world, perfecting the saints, and redeeming the dead. But above all else, these were years of temple building, a total of 26 temples being dedicated during the 5-year period. The year 1981 was ushered in with the Tabernacle Choir's participation in the inauguration of President Ronald Reagan. It was a moving experience for all as the choir sang the battle hymn of the Republic. Early in the year, groundbreaking ceremonies were conducted by general authorities in Papeete, Tahiti, Nuku'alofa, Tonga, Apia, Samoa, and Atlanta, Georgia. And then just preceding the 1981 April conference, the announcement was made that 9 new temples would be built in Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Guatemala City, Guatemala, Lima, Peru, Frankfurt, Germany, Stockholm, Sweden, Seoul, South Korea, Manila, the Philippines, and Johannesburg, South Africa. Serving with President Spencer W. Kimball in the Church's first presidency were President Nathan Eldon Tanner and President Marion G. Romney. President Ezra Taft Benson was president of the Council of 12 Apostles, and members of the quorum were Elders Marky Peterson, LeGrand Richards, Howard W. Hunter, Gordon B. Hinckley, Thomas S. Monson, Boyd K. Packer, Marvin J. Ashton, Bruce R. McConkie, L. Tom Perry, David B. Haight, and James E. Faust. Serving in the first quorum of the 70 presidency were Franklin D. Richards, J. Thomas Fines, Neil A. Maxwell, Carlos E. Acey, M. Russell Ballard, Dean L. Larson, and Royden G. Derrick. During the April 1981 General Conference, Angel Abreu, the first general authority from Latin America, was called to the quorum of the 70. In the afternoon session, President Kimball spoke of the adversary's challenge and the need for every member of the church to be filled with the spirit of peace and serenity.
Always remember that if this were not the Lord's work, the adversary would not pay any attention to us. With faith and good works, the truth will prevail. This is his work. There is none other like it. Let us therefore press forward, lengthening our stride and rejoicing in our blessings and opportunities.
It was during the summer, Elder S. Dilworth Young, a longtime faithful member of the Quorum of 70, passed away after 35 years of service in the First Council of 70 and in the Quorum of 70. They were years of change, and Elder Young provided a crucial link with the past as new changes came about. In July, Elder Gordon B. Hinckley was called as an additional counselor to assist in the work of the First Presidency, and Elder Neil A. Maxwell was called to the Council of the 12 Apostles. Later in the year, Elder G. Homer Durham was called to fill Elder Maxwell's position in the First Quorum of the 70 Presidency. The Church's international visibility and missionary effort was witnessed as the first Stakes of Zion were organized in Milan, Italy, and Lisbon, Portugal. Also, new translations of the Book of Mormon in Russian, Icelandic, Polish, Quechua, and Kuna came off the press. The Book of Mormon's influence continues to be felt throughout the world, as prophesied by the prophet Joseph. During the summer months, 2 entertainment groups from Brigham Young University toured Russia and China. Much good came from their visits as lasting friendships were made for themselves and the church. The publication of the new edition of the Triple Combination was finalized in September of 1981. This completes the entire revision of the standard works with new footnotes, cross-references, chapter and section headings, and a combined revised and expanded index. The revised scriptures provide a great opportunity for all members to understand the Lord's words and commandments and thus increase their spirituality. During October conference, President Kimball was unable to attend due to surgery. President Hinckley conducted the opening session and announced that this was the first conference to be transmitted by satellite. Saints throughout the world would now be able to view the conference session and more fully participate in the conference. A month later, on November 16th, 1981, the church's 22nd temple, the Jordan River Temple, was dedicated by President Marion G. Romney.
We humbly pray, Father, that thou wilt accept this holy edifice, pour out thy blessings upon it as a house to which thou wilt come and in which thy Spirit will direct all that is done, that it may be acceptable unto thee.
1981, national recognition, temple groundbreaking ceremonies throughout the world, improved scriptural indexes and references, and international satellite communications.
Women's issues were among the top news stories of 1982, and within the church, the role and importance of womanhood was heralded as the Relief Society observed its 140th anniversary through the Tribute to Women celebration.
Example after example come from women in many places, from women of differing circumstances in life, women alone, women with children, women old, women young, women new to the church, women in sorrow, women in despair, women happy. They form a mosaic of many lives with differing circumstances, individual talents and with gifts wonderfully varied. The details of each life are so numerous that we begin to see in them the great diversity among us, and with it, great strength and enrichment. And from varied experiences comes one great unifying truth, echoing and re-echoing. I know God lives and loves me.
It was only a few months earlier in February that Belle S. Spafford, Relief Society president for 29 years, passed away at the age of 86. President Spafford had always encouraged women to develop their full potential, but continually emphasized that the role of wife, mother, and homemaker must take precedence over all other interests. On April 1st, 1982, the church's membership passed the 5 million mark, having increased approximately 2 million since 1971. With the expanding membership throughout the world came the need for more temples. Just prior to April conference, the church announced the construction of 4 new temples in Boise, Idaho, Denver, Colorado, Guayaquil, Ecuador, and Taipei, Taiwan. In September of 1982, the Tabernacle Choir would celebrate its 50th anniversary with CBS Radio. It was on September 4th, 1932, that it performed its first CBS broadcast in its now traditional Sunday morning time period. A series of other international and historical events filled the summer months of 1982. The Tabernacle Choir presented 10 concerts in 8 European cities. The BYU Lamanite generation was on a 19-day tour in the People's Republic of China. The 37th and 38th stakes in England were organized in Manchester, bringing all of Great Britain under stake administration for the first time. In August, 17 historical sites at Nauvoo, Illinois were dedicated by President Hinckley. Nauvoo was the crucible of Mormonism, he said, a crucible of vision, a crucible of leadership, a crucible of faith. In Utah, President Reagan toured the Welfare Service's Ogden Cannery and acknowledged the church's great success with the welfare program.
The key to making self-reliance spiritual is in using the freedom to comply with God's commandments. The scriptures are very clear in their command that it is the duty of those who have to give to those who are in need.